Eros was first pushed backwards and then forward as the Asp burst through the side of the Majestic. He looked around, frantically trying to assess the situation. He had deactivated hardpoints, not wanting to rip off any equipment as they forced their way out, hoping that it also might serve a second purpose, allowing a quick getaway, unpursued by the Thargoids. He counted 3 interceptors, and more scouts than he'd ever cared to count. They were largely being engaged by fighters, as the Majestic's main guns fired in an almost rhythmic manner. The Asp was moving away, thrusters firing at full capacity. A railgun shot thundered past the bow. "Oh, come on, you've far worse things to worry about," Eros shouted, and began to attempt to give the Asp a more sporadic flight pattern. He looked towards the planet and rotated the ship, looking back over the Majestic as it successfully blasted through the petal and heart of one of the interceptors. As the Asp closed the distance, another railgun volley came in. To Eros, as though in slow motion, the white glowing projectile moved in front of the stars and under the ship. The Asp lurched and rotated downwards with a jolt and an enormous bang. Main thruster, right, offline. Control system error, armor penetration, aft. Structural integrity compromised, Celeste announced. "Celeste, be quiet. Now is not the time." Eros opened the manual control panel from the right of his flight seat and flicked up a toggle for the drive control and tried to restart the left side main thruster. They interlock off should either one fail to prevent spin. The ship groaned and it slowly began to give power. Trimming the controls to prevent huge yaw, Eros regained rough control. His heart raced. He expected another shot to come in at any moment. At this range, their tracking would probably suffer a little, although the Asp was now severely crippled, and speed was never its forte, probably evening the score. Space was a fireworks show of fighters and countless guns. It would be beautiful, except for the realization that this was an all-out war. The group of Thargoids continued their assault. Much to Eros's conflicted sense of relief, a synchronized shutdown pulse was projected from each of the interceptors, and the lights aboard the Majestic flickered and went dark. Whatever countermeasures they had, they were not effective. With the Asp shutting down as well, it continued to drift downward towards the planet, its meager gravitational field doing almost nothing to aid their escape. Eros looked down as the Thargoids began firing corrosive weapons at the Majestic, streams of Thargon steamrolling through the armor and causing ripples of explosions. The Majestic was ready to fold in half already. He thought of all the lives on board. It was such a senseless waste to fight the Thargoids with nothing but arrogance. Their presence here gave credit to Ramtar's theory that the device was of Thargoid origin. Had Eros found something they had been destroying countless INRA affiliates to find? The power flickered back on. As the sensors came back online, he saw the fuzzied signature of an interceptor and its Thargons moving towards them. Eros checked the hardpoints were already shut down. He could not fight, and he would not fight. His thoughts were only of submission. A railgun slug flew past the canopy and out into space. With it, the yellow-green entrails of a direct hit scored on the Thargoid in pursuit. Celeste, status of crew member Seema. Crew member Basirat unconscious, status critical, recommend immediate hospitalization. How long does she have? Can we put her in cryo? He asked quietly, his voice shaking. Subject probability of death during procedure is 95%. Probability of death during reanimation is 97%. Prognosis, cryostasis would cause death. Shit. Plot a course for the nearest known medical facility. Follow bearing 290 Majestic class at 3.5 kilometers. Not that one, we cannot go there. Plotting. Please wait. Nearest location, approximately 350 light years. Nan jumps, ETA, Nan minutes. Main drive, inoperable. Figures. I guess this is it then. Eros uncoupled himself from the flight seat. A railgun strike on the Asp could probably cause a pretty severe injury, but at this moment, it would probably come as somewhat of a mercy.